It's going to be so enlightening. Let's savour it.
A chase with a rich roll of honour. Capodanno up front with Lifetime Ambition, closely followed by West Cork Wildway. Missing out the 3 fences in the back straight as they come to the first. It's Lifetime Ambition. Leading on the approach, Capodanno. Bob Olinger ranges up to them on the outside of West Cork Wildway. Over the first of the 2 fences before the straight. And rising together, Lifetime Ambition and Capodanno, followed by Bob Olinger and West Cork Wildway. Already a reminder for Forged and Fired in last place as they arrive at fence number 2. Into it together, Capodanno and Lifetime Ambition, building up a lead over Bob Olinger, who is disputing 3rd place with West Cork Wildway as they swing into the fence in the straight number 3. The grey is Lieutenant Command on the outside of the other grey, Gayard de Maynil, the check colours, and then Gallant John Joe, and Forged and Fire is chasing the bridle at the back of the field as they're coming towards the 3rd fence, matching strides Lifetime Ambition and Sean O'Keefe. On the inside, Capodanno and Mark Walsh. A good 4 in front of West Cork Wildway and Dad O'Keefe, and then Bob Olinger, who's in 4th. Rachael Blackmore together for the first time over fences, the duo, and then Gayard de Maynil and Paul Townend alongside Lieutenant Command and Sean Flanagan, then Gallant John Joe and Barry Brown. On the scoreboard and an earlier winner and detached Forged and Fire, Jack Kennedy. They race uphill to fence number 4, and Lifetime Ambition has moved on from Capodanno, and then West Cork Wildway and Bob Olinger. Behind Bob Olinger, Gayard de Maynil. Bob Olinger, he's conqueror at Cheltenham and the Ballymore, and then Lieutenant Command and Gallant John Joe, and 6 lengths to the back marker, who is Forged and Fire. At the fence, the top of the track. Again, all safely over. It's Lifetime Ambition, the leader from Capodanno, as they race downwards. And then Bob Olinger on the inside, West Cork Wildway, tracked by Gayard de Maynil and Lieutenant Command. Gallant John Joe next. And out of touch at the back of the field, Forged and Fire. Downhill they go to the first of 2 fences, a plain followed by the open ditch, and it's Lifetime Ambition up and over, 2.5 in front of Capodanno. West Cork Wildway and Bob Olinger racing together 3 and 4 as they head for the ditch, and then Lieutenant Command and Gayard de Maynil and Gallant John Joe. Little changes in the orders. They clear that fence, taking them into the back straight. Forged and Fire is out of contention at the back of the field. Heading down the back straight, they've passed the halfway stage in the Grade 3 Kildare Novice Chase. It's Lifetime Ambition. Now within a length is Capodanno. Poised in behind is Bob Olinger, disputing 3rd place with West Cork Wildway and then Lieutenant Command as they go around the first of the 3 omitted fences in the back straight. Lifetime Ambition from Capodanno, Bob Olinger, West Cork Wildway, then Gayard de Maynil and Lieutenant Command, and then Gallant John Joe. Racing on towards the 3/4 mile point, continuing their progress to the 3rd last fence. Lifetime Ambition and Capodanno, the 2 continuing up front, tracked by Bob Olinger, the black sleeves on the outside of West Cork Wildway, then Lieutenant Command and Gayard de Maynil, and touches Gallant John Joe, and tailed off as Forged and Fire. Onto the 5 mark they come with 3 fences left to jump. Lifetime Ambition from Capodanno within 3 parts of a length. A length and a half to Bob Olinger, just 3rd from West Cork Wildway, and then Gallant John Joe, who's picked up some ground on the inside of the 2 greys, Gayard de Maynil and Lieutenant Command, as they come to the 3rd last fence. And it's Lifetime Ambition rejoined by Capodanno. Then Bob Olinger, who meets the fence in 3rd. On the inside, West Cork Wildway. Gallant John Joe ridden up and between horses. Then Gayard de Maynil and Lieutenant Command as they come towards the 2nd last. And Capodanno's just back in front. Looming on the outside is Bob Olinger. Then Lifetime Ambition, Gallant John Joe and Gayard de Mayneel. Racing round the home turn. A good run to the final fence in the Kildare Novice Chase. Capodanno and Mark Walsh in the lead from Bob Olinger. And Rachael Blackmore wound up on the outside. They're out in front of Gallant John Joe and Barry Brown as they head for the final fence. And Bob Olinger on the outside comes up to Capodanno. They have it between them. And away comes Bob Olinger. Coming down to the final fence, it's Bob Olinger, the leader from Capodanno. There's a widening gap between them. The final fence and the Kildare Novice, and over in front is Bob Olinger and Rachael Blackmore careering away from Capodanno. Bob Olinger is hardly breaking sweat here and confirms himself as a leading novice chaser. Makes it 2 out of 2, beating Capodanno a long way clear of Gayard de Mayneel, West Cork Wildway, Gallant John Joe.
Yes, Bob Olinger is 2 from 2 over fences. The dual Grade 1 winning novice hurdler, the Ballymore winner, along with the Lawlor's Hotel winner at Naas last season. He's 2 from 2 over fences now. Don't think anybody can fault his jumping today, to be fair.
No, he was clever when he needed to be, and he had scope when Rachael asked him. I did think turning in he was going to have to put out all the stops. Well done to Capodanno. He's backed up that run at Naas by running a brilliant race here. Never far from the pace, but down to the last. You just see how clever he was. Rachael left him alone, left him to his own devices, and after putting a...
Very clever indeed. Rachel's just letting go in, pop, in he's got. Spring heeled out over it. I thought he jumped perfectly. I know he missed obviously the couple of fences down the back, but other than that I thought it was a perfect round of jumping for him.
Yeah, and as I said pre-race, a lot of us are so focused in on his jumping that we forget the engine that he showed last year, and he showed it again today. Lifetime Ambition brought him along a decent pace. He starts to give away here. Mark Walsh takes it up on Capodanno. He was ridden quite positively today, never out of the front two. Gayard de Mayneel at this stage just behind Rachael, but ultimately ends up a well-beaten third. But Bob Olinger, nice big jump here, lands her just on the girths of Capodanno. To be fair to the horse in front, he doesn't lie down, and Bob Olinger has to answer more questions than he's probably ever had to answer. I know he got beaten in a maiden hurdle by Fernie Hollow, but never did he come under this kind of pressure in great company in novice hurdles last year, and he showed a really likeable attitude.
Second horse is running an absolute cracker as well. A horse who stays well. Of course, he won over 3 miles as well. Versatile regards trip. He also won over 2 miles, and obviously hence Mark Walsh has ridden him with plenty of confidence, ridden him forwardly this afternoon, but he was just beaten by a far better horse on the day. Hurdle rating suggested that, and it's a different ball game when they come over to larger obstacles, but Capodanno's lost very little in feet, pulled a long way clear of a stable companion, and imagine Capodanno when he steps further back up in trip, there's going to be more improvement to come from him.
Yeah, well maybe, I think maybe 2.5 might be his trip. He just got beaten by a very good horse. Now you might have heard the roar from the stand. That has been so rare in Irish racing recently, particularly at Christmas, and if we can get cameras to the winner's enclosure, this is actually such a rare sight. You cannot underestimate how many people are here today, probably just to see the first race Dysart Dynamo and to see this horse, because he paid a lot of punters last year and he's paid them again today.
Well, a good horse attracts people racing, and I must say for the last couple of weeks before Christmas, I know unfortunately with no crowds at Leopardstown, but it's great to see a lot of people arriving back at the Irish racecourse. We saw Limerick, we saw Tramore, we saw here at Punchestown on New Year's Eve. I haven't seen a bigger crowd at Punchestown, but take out the festival, than I had saw at New Year's Eve that day. It's great to see so many people coming back racing, and they're all flocking down off the stands, running over to get a look at Bob Olinger as he comes into the parade.
Getting a round of applause. It's a great appreciation for a very, very good horse, and of course the combination of Henry de Bromhead and Rachael Blackmore, who took last year by storm, and people couldn't really appreciate them in real time on the day. They're here today and they're not missing their opportunity. Look, Bob Olinger will have many options at the festival, and I'd imagine that's where his next stop is. Robcour's Brian Ashison have assembled a mighty team of horses. Journey with Me looks very exciting, and there's a number of horses there, but none of them as exciting as this guy. We thought he might be Gold Cup caliber last year. He did nothing to dispel that today. He stays very well. His options are open, and I would like to mention, like, Henry's horses are not firing in all cylinders. It was a worry. I'd imagine it was in the back of his head, but this horse pulled it out. Well,
I said it's a big relief for Henry and all the team as well, and he does hold an entry in the, I think it's the Grade 1 Ladbrokes Novice Chase at the Dublin Racing Festival, and obviously asked Henry that, but will it straight be to Cheltenham? Will he go straight to Cheltenham, or will he like to get another run in between?
I wouldn't say so. I think he skipped Leopardstown at Christmas and he'll skip Leopardstown again. And where would you go? You go the intermediate trip over the... What's
the
it
old
called
JLT, was it? The JLT?
The Marsh.
The Marsh, yes. That'd be the race for him?
It's the obvious point, isn't it?
Well, we'll just go and ask Henry anyway, won't we?
It's
called the Turners now.
Henry probably won't tell you, so you can ask him if you want, but he probably won't tell you.
Probably not. Henry de Bromhead joins me now after a very, very impressive performance by Bob Olinger, winning our graded novice chase. Relief, is that fair to say?
Yeah, definitely. Very fair to say. Yeah, absolutely. A lot of stomach churning there. But yeah, delighted with his jumping and really happy with how happy Rachael was with him as well.
Couple of anxious moments just before turning into this straight. I just thought that Mark Walsh was travelling fractionally better than you, but your horse put it to bed quickly then.
Yeah, he seems to just have this another gear, like he did it again in the Ballymore after the last. You know, he was going away nicely before the last, but after the last he sort of flew, and he seems to sort of do that. Yeah, he's got another gear again, you know. So yeah, he was good.
I know he missed, unfortunately, a couple of fences down the back, but I thought he jumped extremely well. I thought there was quite a little bit of unfair criticism about how he jumped first time out over fence. I thought on the whole he jumped well that day in Gowran.
Yeah, he jumped fine. Dara did a great job on him. You know, it was first run over fences. You could argue he didn't take to it like a duck to water, but we've done a lot of schooling, a lot more than we normally would with him, and he's really taken to it well. Rachel's done a fantastic job with him at home, and the other day we schooled him and we just both went, yeah, that's it. You know, if we can repeat that on the track, happy days. So it's good to see it. And
you obviously felt that he needed a lot more schooling, because you said just there you touched on it, you've done a lot more schooling with him than you would normally do.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, like I mean, he wasn't brilliant in, you know, he was fine. I thought he was fine in Gowran, but it was nice to see him step forward from that.
He's very clever at his obstacles as well. When he was wrong at one or two, he's gone in and he's popped them.
Yeah, I think I'd say if he had to go either way, that's his preference. You know, he'll just pop away. Yeah.
Okay, Henry, he is in the Ladbrokes Novice Chase over 2.5, I think, at Dublin Racing Festival. Will he go there? Is it too early to say? Would you like to get another run into him before Cheltenham?
He was probably going there before today. Now, I don't know. You might need to think twice about it. We'll see. We'll see how it unfolds. We'd want a good ease in the ground if he's to go. And, you know, it's 3 weeks and then another 5 weeks or so. So that's what we were doing. But I don't know. The way he jumped there today, we'll see. We'll see how he is. Nothing's set in stone. We'll enjoy today. That was a very good race. And yeah, like I was amazed the price he was against that standard of horse, you know, and in fairness, himself and Capodanno pulled well clear, yeah.
And obviously his target at Cheltenham, I presume, will be the Marsh. I think it's now the Turners. It used to be the JLT. Might hold an entry in the RSA. Would that be up for discussion, maybe?
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, it's the Brown Marybelle, I think it is now, or Brown Advisory, I'm not sure. But anyway, yeah, I'd say we'll have an entry in that just in case. I'm not sure why. Again, I'd like to discuss it with connections and see, but we might put him in that as well, just to keep our options open.
Very well done. Very
Thank
good
you.
performance. And the world is his oyster. Fingers crossed.
Thanks a million.